From Cleveland, Ohio, it's the Barbecue Central Show on the Barbecue Central Radio Network.
Oh, yeah, we are After Dark. Can I get a quad? Yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. This is the Barbecue Central Radio Networks. This is the Barbecue Central Show After Dark. Just a few minutes, we're going to be joined by Fred Bernardo, the smoking guitar player himself, to talk about all things barbecue and grilling. Have a list of stuff, a litany of stuff to talk about with Fred. He can talk on any number of subjects, so we will pick his brain for all of that. You know, I want to do this testimonial for you because I believe in this product. I just do. I don't know what else to say about it. I've been taking almost for a year now. It'll be a year in April, I believe. I've been taking a product called Joe B's, and if you follow me on Twitter, you've heard it on the show, or if you listen to the stream at Barbecue Central Radio Network, you'll hear the commercials for it, little 10-second spots. Joe B's, well, what is it? It's all-natural, free-range bee pollen. It's not a sugar pill. Doesn't get you all jittery. It's not filled with caffeine and sugar like the Red Bull and all those other drinks that are packed with sugar and all that stuff. Now, this is all natural. It's not made in a lab like your multivitamins are. I mean, you realize how important pollination is, right? I mean, if we didn't have pollination and pollen, we would all be dead, I think. I think there's scientific proof. I don't think I'm overstating that. But really, this is like nature's most perfect food. What has it done for me? Simple. Before I started taking it, I could tell you without a clock. I didn't even have to look at the sun. I could tell you when 2 o'clock was because I was ready to take a friggin' nap. I was cashed out for the day at 2 p.m. It was ridiculous. And I heard a host here locally in Cleveland talk about Joe B's for about a year, maybe a year and a half. And I always thought it was a gimmick. And finally, I got sick and tired of wanting to take a nap in the metro parks when I was working because I couldn't hack it the rest of the day. And I knew I still had to go home and be the dad and the husband and all that great stuff. Wanted the energy back. Wanted to feel good again. So I gave Joe B's a shot. And it worked for me. And it's not a quick fix. For most people, it takes about 2 to 3 weeks to build up in their system. And then all of a sudden, I can't sit here and pinpoint an exact date. But all of a sudden, I realize I'm looking down at the clock. It's 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening. I'm pressing right through. I'm feeling good. On top of that, especially if you're in areas that have environmental change or climate change like we do up here in Ohio and the Northeast region. You know, this is the time of year when your immune system gets bombarded with disease and germs and infection. Well, good news, because Joe B's helps boost your immune system, helps you sleep better, gives you more stamina, level energy throughout the course of the day. It's just great stuff, and it works for me. It works for me, and that's why I want to tell you about it. You can order some if you want at 877-300-5632, or you can also go online and read more about it. JOEBEES.com. Joe is running a special right now where if you order 6 months right now, he'll give you a 7th month free, and he pays for shipping. If it doesn't work for you, this is the best part. If it doesn't work for you, you can send it back, and he will refund your money. It's a no-lose situation. I'm a customer for life. After my first 6 month supply ran out, I ordered 9 more months right off the bat because I will not be without Joe B's, and I tell everybody I know about it. When people ask about how come I'm not sick and everybody else in the house is, I know why I'm not. Joe B's. Again, JOEBEES.com, or you can call toll-free 877-300-5632. It's Joe B's. You know, it's like you got germs coming at you. No, I got my Joe B's. No, I got my Joe B's. You got the flu germs coming at you? No, negative. It's you can't get them because I'm taking my Joe B's. Anything, any type of bad stuff coming at you? No, Joe B's has me covered. Again, JOEBEES.com or 877-300-5632. All right, let's go to the hotline. Joining me after dark tonight, the smoking guitar player himself, Fred Bernardo of Fred's Music and BBQ.com. Fred, how are you?
Great, Greg. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, and thanks for taking the time out to join me after dark. Welcome, and you're like the third guest for After Dark. How do you feel about that?
Well, I feel quite privileged, Greg.
For people that don't know, by the way, Fred is a longtime sponsor of the show. More importantly than that, he is a friend of the show. We've had him on a number of times. Very It has a wide breadth knowledge and scope of the barbecue and grilling world. So we have a lot of great things that we can cover, and you can talk on any number of topics. But first, probably, might be best. Maybe we've actually never done this, Fred. Tell us how you actually got into the business. I mean, was it the music business first and then barbecue, or vice versa, or how did it all kind of shake down?
Well, actually, yes, Greg. I've been in the music business, in the retail music business for 38 years. That's kind of hard to believe, but I opened in 1972. I'm a guitarist in a previous life, a professional working guitarist, a rhythm and blues guitarist, and in the early 70s, I realized that being on the road was a lot of fun for a while, a lot of fun, but just didn't look like too much of a thing to do much longer than that. So I decided to open a music store on sort of a shoestring, and it blossomed from there. And well, a few years back here, I just decided that I needed something new to get my juices flowing, and decided to take another hobby of mine, which was cooking, and opened a store to supply cooking products, specialty cooking products, mainly barbecue related, but we're branching out a little bit now. And I've always sort of made my passion my work, and that way I don't work. I just do my passion every day. So that's how it kind of naturally flowed. Just had some retail space, and just needed something to kind of light my fire.
And when you look through the videos, I mean, your website is very very intuitive, but very interactive as well. You're doing a lot of videos. You're showing what the store looks like inside. You're showing videos of how you're cooking, using products, and all that great stuff. Do you find that you have a customer base that buys from both sides of the store, or is it usually just music guys and just barbecue guys, and you don't have a lot of crossover customers?
Well, it's really kind of hard to determine, at least on the internet. But for our local showroom customers, we have quite a bit of crossover. It turns out it's actually a real good fit. I hadn't really thought about it when I did it. I tend to do things sort of on a whim or on a hunch. I get an idea and just do it. But really quite a good fit. A lot of my musician buddies are starting to settle down a little more in their ways and want to do things at home and stay at home. They're not gigging as much. They're home in the evenings, and the cooking thing is sort of a natural progression. Plus, we have quite a few lessons given at the music store, and the parents are hanging around and things, so it gives them something to browse and buy gifts. And there's kind of a lot of musicians like to cook too. It turns out.
Now, on the music side, do you have a whole staff that is just music, and then a whole staff that is just the barbecue side, or does everybody play both sides of the fence, sir?
Everybody plays both sides of the fence. It's interesting. Musicians are gearheads. And as you probably can tell, barbecue guys are gearheads too. They may not use that phrase quite as much, but the musicians staff, when I first announced to them that I was going to clear out part of the music store, we actually have two buildings side by side. And when I made the decision to clear out the one building and put the barbecue stuff in there, they really thought I was out of my mind and that I had finally snapped. But we put started bringing barbecue gear in and selling it, and these guys just caught on immediately, man. They're all great cooks, and it's a gear thing. I really think it's a gearhead thing. So they work both sides. They work both buildings.
Are your store retail sales versus your online sales completely? I mean, is there a huge gap? Online blowing that away?
Well, it is by numbers, but not by dollars necessarily. The showroom sale tends to be a bigger item, a cooker or a grill or something. Whereas online, we don't do near as much of that because it's hard to ship these things around safely. Especially, we're Big Green Egg specialists, and the Big Green Egg company kind of shies away from even anybody selling online or selling long distance. They prefer the business to be done by the local dealers, which we're okay with. But and the thing's heavy and it's fragile and has to be shipped on a pallet. It's inconvenient. So, we get a local sale. It's usually a big one, and people drive to us from all over the place to buy Big Green Eggs and to buy pellet grills and other kind of cookers. So, whereas on a day-to-day like today where we had freezing rain and sleet all day and it's just absolutely horrible, we have a random customer from time to time coming in. But the internet business is continuous. It's day and night. I mean, orders come in while I'm sitting here talking to you, I'm sure.
Talking with Fred Bernardo. He's the smoking guitar player, owner of Fred's Music and BBQ.com. Fred, why don't we go ahead and talk a little KCBS? Why not? You sell a number of different cookers in the store there. There was talk in the last board meeting about possibly letting gas cookers or gas-powered cookers into competition barbecue. As someone that has a vast amount of experience on a number of different cookers and having been in competitions yourself and looking or walking around competitions, is that something that you would have a problem with letting gas-powered cookers in?
Well, me personally, I don't. I may offend some people, but I don't think it makes a difference. If somebody can figure out a way of getting good results on a gas cooker, what the heck, There's so many differences and variabilities and all the other variables that, me personally, I don't see a big deal. I'm sure traditionalists probably have a problem with that, but they're using secret sauces and injections and bringing in food scientists and who knows what else. So maybe it should go. I don't know. That's for people I guess smarter than me or more knowledgeable than me to decide. But me personally, I wouldn't care. Let them rock.
I've heard some of the arguments for would be the fact that you have devices like the Guru or the Stoker, or you have the pellet cookers that are pretty much like a thermostat type of control where there's no fire management art or there's no skill in that portion of the contest like there was years ago. So to that extent, why not now allow gas cookers in, and possibly letting those people in, you would be able to possibly generate more prize money, more sponsorship from LP-type gas companies that are in your local area.
Yeah, well, we really, Greg, if you do think about it, take a cooker especially like something like a Fast Eddie's or something, you've got an insulated box with a digitally controlled thermostat on there, even though it's wood-fired. I mean, it might as well be an electric element in there, as far as controlling the temperature goes. I mean, it's rock solid. The ambient temperature isn't going to affect it. I mean, there's not too much touchy-feely old-time barbecue stuff really in there anymore. It's pretty much set the temperature and close the door and, let it maintain its temperature. So, you can see how we're almost at the point now. I mean, frankly, we're in a state here where, in a geography where it's, freezing cold, and now we're going to get another foot of snow, I hear, in about 24 hours. But we would have more trouble keeping a gas grill at a normal temperature than we will a Big Green Egg,
right,
for that matter.
Exactly. We're talking with Fred. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The cold and the wind just sucks the life out of gas grills, and a Big Green Egg or something insulated like an FE100 or something. I mean, they're so well insulated now. I guess the gas grills, they'll do the same thing. They'll put gas hook cooking elements in all these different cookers. But really, when it comes right down to it, I mean, if you take a digitally controlled or insulated box, you might as well almost have an electric thing when you think about it.
Right. Fred Bernardo breaking it down for us, KCBS style, on gas-powered cookers. Fred's Music and BBQ.com is his website. So, you've experienced a lot of success both with the retail store and online. And then, was it a year or so ago, you decided to branch off and get into the rubs and salsas and sauces and all that great stuff. Everybody kind of thinks about it. I know I've thought about it a number of times. People tell me my homemade sauce is just great and I should bottle it, but there's no way I would actually ever do that due to competition. But you decided to take that step. How are you being able to do that effectively, cost conservatively and consciously, and still be able to kind of grow into some market share?
Well, my rubs, I sell mostly rubs, and I sell most of them myself. We have a handful of dealers here and there, specialty stores and things that carry them that we sell wholesale to, and the local meat markets and butchers and things that we partner with sell them. But it's mostly for me to. I like being vertically integrated, as they say in the business world. I have my own branding and my own product. I promote. As you can tell, if you've watched the videos, I'm somewhat of a self-promoter, and if I don't do it, no one else does. So that's the way it's got to be. But I always have had my own brand of guitar strings and a few different brands of guitar strings, and pretty much I'm not that concerned with worldwide distribution or national distribution. I'd love to have more dealers. Anybody wants to carry the Tasty Licks rubs in their store, man, we're very dealer friendly. But otherwise, I do a lot of promotion. You've seen the videos. Mm-hmm. We've sent probably 10,000 sample packs out to barbecue people, and not just barbecue people, but people that like to cook. And the orders keep coming in. I mean, I get orders all day long for our rubs, and I want people coming to me. My website is intended to be a one-stop. I have as many products on there as I could possibly find and handle, and we keep them all in stock. We're very good at it. My crew is just excellent, and customer service is our number one thing. So we're real. I got to say, without blowing my own horn, I mean, we are really on top of things, and we're trying to stay that way. And the rubs are just another thing you come to me for. You want Tasty Licks rubs? Go to my website. You can order them all there. And if you want a dealer to carry them, tell him to call me up and give me a buzz, or give me an email, and he can carry them in his store if he wants to. But it's really something I kind of, it's sort of our own branding thing. And I'm very proud of the success I've had with the rubs. And I always knew I would, because I had very good recipes. I kind of have a good touch for it, it turns out, and I always have for seasoning foods. And I've been cooking since I'm a little kid, so. That's kind of the deal. They were a natural progression.
And perhaps something that kind of sets you apart is you don't go to a company packer to do the rubs and all this stuff. This is something that you're actually doing yourself in your own commercial kitchen.
Absolutely. Me and my staff do everything. I literally print the labels. I print the labels. I bought the printing equipment. I bought the packaging equipment. I bought the mixing equipment. I want complete control from beginning to end. I use very high quality ingredients. I buy in pretty large quantities, but I try and keep it, in a range where they're always fresh. And if somebody doesn't like something, it's only my fault, because I don't want someone else having control of my product. It's just the way I am. I guess I'm sort of a control freak, maybe, but it's my product. It's got my name and my brand on it, and I don't care about getting big. I don't care at all. I don't care. I'm very happy just selling what I sell, and that's kind of the deal.
So you got a lot of flavors out there. What seemed to be selling the best, and what's new in the pipeline for Tasty Licks barbecue rubs?
Okay, well, I tell you, I have sort of two lines within a line. I have what I consider barbecue rubs, which is, we have our Ribbit rib rub, and we have I have the Smoking Guitar Player's original rub, which is sort of a pork or a chicken rub. And then I have 4 rubs that are geared for specific, for actually cooking, not necessarily barbecue. There's a savory poultry rub, which is, and I call it my Signore Bernardo culinary line. I just put my little moniker on there. But there's a savory poultry rub, which is my Italian mother's seasoning blend that she always used on chicken, like every Sunday when I was a kid. And we have a steak one, and we have one for salmon, and one for turkey. And so there's those 4, which are actually identified by the actual food they'll go on. They're really simple. They're for people to use in their kitchens or barbecuing or whatever. And they all 4 of those just rock. I mean, people just absolutely love them. And then we have sort of the barbecue line, which is, a rib rub, a pork rub. I have I call it my red eye red meat rub. It's a beef rub with coffee in. Mm-hmm. I have quite a few things. I have a burger rub. You just put it on your burger, and you don't need anything else,
Das Burgermeister rub, right?
That's the Burgermeister. That is correct. And I got to tell you cannot imagine how many bottles of that stuff I sell. And we do demonstration cooks, and at our Egg Fest, we're always serving burgers. And we just take plain meat. I actually have a butcher that I partner with who grinds and blends the burger, the proportion of fat to meat exactly the way I want it, freezes them into patties, and we get hundreds of these things when we have a promotion. And ketchup and mustard are not allowed. You must at least take one bite of the burger without any toppings on it, and that's the rule. You want that burger, you got to take one bite, and no one ever asks for anything once they've taken one bite. We just put some of that Burgermeister on there. It actually has a little bit of tomato in it, tomato powder in the mix, and cannot imagine how many bottles of that stuff I'll sell after a demonstration weekend. It's really pretty good stuff. I'm really proud of the stuff. It's worked out good.
And I can certainly attest to the fact that the poultry rub, or the Signore Bernardo poultry spice, is one of the favorites here in the Rempe household. It is. It smells great. You could pretty much spoon feed it into my pie hole right out of the bucket, and then it works exceptionally well again on chicken and turkey. It's one of the favorites out here for sure.
Right, that's really a good one, and that again, that's my take on my mother's. I'm Italian, and every Sunday we had spaghetti and we had a roast chicken, and that's exactly the flavor that my mother always put on it. Now she never measured anything; she just kind of put the stuff on there, and that's what I went for when I did that. And I'll tell you, I just discovered another really good use for that. When I've been really getting into the pizza thing, and my family, my aunts, my mother has six sisters, so my older aunts cooked at the Italian American Club when I was a kid, kind of in the kitchen.
Right.
And I used to watch them make Sicilian pizza. And I've rediscovered Sicilian pizza, and they used to make what they called white pizza, which is actually kind of a focaccia bread. And if you make a thick, Sicilian type pizza and put olive oil on the top of that dough and sprinkle that savory poultry on there, that is absolutely dead on perfect. I guarantee you will love it. I mean, people flip out over that. That's all you need: olive oil in that, and then bake it till it's golden, and it's perfect.
Great, now I'm hungry.
As it turns out.
No doubt. So, I mean, what is it about the pizza making that's kind of reinvigorated you into getting to know more about that?
Well, I guess I just always need new things to get my juices flowing. So there's a local restaurant in town here that has a sort of a gas brick oven, wood-fired oven without the wood,
Mm-hmm.
Very, very good restaurant. And she serves a focaccia bread on the table as like a little, dipping thing when you sit at your table. And I discovered it. I started out trying to duplicate her recipe. The restaurant's called Judy's on Cherry. It's in Reading, Pennsylvania. It's very well known. And Judy's, this bread that she serves, I started out trying to duplicate, because she promised me the recipe one time and then never would give it to me, because it's really a signature dish. So I started out trying to duplicate it, and one night when I was in her restaurant, I noticed that she makes her pizzas, or these thin crust pizzas she serves, out of the same dough ball. So I realized it was a pizza dough. So then I started playing with that, and then it evolved into pizza. And then I got into like these pizza forums and different doughs and different flours. And well, next thing you know, I'm selling all the Italian pizza flours in my store because people don't know where to find them. So we sell them online. People order and blah, blah, blah. And, it's just turned into sort of a craze. I mean, there's a huge amount of people out there, baking pizzas. And the Big Green Egg is a pretty good cooker for baking, real good pizza. So, that was the tie-in, because I have my egg sitting here. I can see it out my window in the snow, and was the tied with the Big Green Egg and doing the pizzas, and just another thing, Greg.
I would imagine that with the pizza, there's the dough making, and that could, of course, translate well into like some type of artisan bread making stuff. You getting into that as well?
Yep. Yeah. I also I've been doing that too. About. Well, a month and a half ago, Peter Reinhardt, who's written all the great artisan bread books of the recent times, was given a class in New York. So me and my wife treated ourselves and went up to the city for a couple days and took Peter's class. And I'm hoping to have him this summer at the store doing a demo class. But with the Big Green Egg, as it turns out, and really the pellet grills sort of work that way too. But I use the Big Green Egg because I happen to have one sitting here. If done right, it's a great oven. You can only bake a loaf or two at a time in there, small ones, but or one ciabatta, let's say. But really is just a really good oven for baking artisan bread. And if you look on the website, I have a really easy no knead one on there. It actually shows it from beginning to end, and the results are just dead on. It is just easy and wonderful. So that kind of came with the pizza thing, but I've kind of stayed with the pizza a little stronger. I guess because it's my third favorite food. After free and all you can eat, third is pizza. So I guess that's why I'm so drawn to it.
There you go. It's Fred Bernardo from Fred's Music and BBQ joining us here, Barbecue Central Show After Dark. Now, you've mentioned wood fire ovens a couple times. Is that something that, as a store and as a retailer, you're going to be looking to actually start selling, or is that something you don't want to get into?
Yeah, no, it's funny you should mention that, Greg, because that is the next thing. I actually signed on as a Primavera dealer, which I'm sorry, Primavera. Primavera is a model. As a Forno Bravo dealer, it's one of the top lines of Italian-style brick and wood-fired ovens. And the Primavera is their model. They're sort of their entry-level model. It's kind of sort of a prefab. You get the thing ready to bake on, and we actually have our demo oven, but it's still in a crate in a warehouse. We don't have any place to put it, so we're hoping to add one to the store in a couple months, and then we're going to bring those things out, and we'll be doing installations and selling wood-fired ovens. I've been doing a lot of studying and a lot of practicing. I may have mentioned to you that I went to Tony Gimignani's pizza school in San Francisco a few weeks ago, and got to find out a little more about the ovens, different type of ovens, and how they affect the pizza and the final product and things. So, yeah, that's the natural progression. If I get into it, then I sell it. That's how it kind of works.
And selling those will be just more to the general vicinity out there in Shillington, or will you sell these online as well?
I think it'll be more of a Eastern Pennsylvania type of thing. Things are reasonably close here. We're not too spread out, so Philadelphia is not too long a reach for us. And Eastern Pennsylvania, New Jersey, a little bit of Maryland, probably that area. But we can ship these things into anywhere. It's just I kind of tend to like to do things where I like to stay close to the customer and be able to show them how to use things. And classes and demos and things are a huge part of our business. We're very, very active on teaching people how to cook on their cookers, and so I guess it'll be mostly local, I would think.
I've had a couple. Wildwood Ovens sells a line of wood-fired cookers, and I've had a company called Quintessential Outdoor Living, and they actually have kind of like a mobile. They're all refractory type ovens, wood burning. What kind of a price point for your ovens are you looking at?
Well, it's funny you would mention both of those brands because Wildwood was one of the first ones I looked into. That literature's sitting here on my shelf. And Quintessential, I had the sales rep in my store last week, and we're considering now whether we're going to carry that oven or not. Those things are on wheels and look a little portable, but, the smallest one's 550 pounds.
Not so portable.
But anyway, price-wise, the Forno Bravos started – the ovens themselves, their Primavera, which is their entry-level oven, it's complete with a stand is around, I think, $2,300. Mm-hmm. But, to get one to your house is another $600 or $700. I think you have to figure for any quality wood-fired oven, you're going to spend at least $3,000-$4,000. I mean, $10,000 is not a stretch by far. I mean, you can easily spend between $5,000 and $10,000, but you can for $3,000 get a darn good smaller oven, big enough to bake one pizza at a time in and a few loaves of bread.
Yeah, that's certainly seemed to be making more and more of the popular run there as far as when people are looking to expand out into the backyard and make a little bit more outdoor kitchen gathering areas, the pizza ovens and the wood-fired fireplaces. But fireplaces seem to be becoming more and more popular these days. Anything coming up at the store? Any events? I mean, you always got something going on over there, Fred.
Yeah, well, every Saturday we're cooking. So, usually between 11 and 2 every Saturday. So if anybody's in the area, stop by and have a bite. You never know what it's going to be. It could be ABTs. It could be pizza. It's been pizza a lot lately. It just could be garlic bread. It could be pork butts. Those overnight things are a little tough to work out the logistics. But every Saturday. And then from time to time we have semi-formal demo classes, so I'll send out an email blast. You can get on my newsletter if you go to the website. You can just, down at the bottom there somewhere, there's a thing you can put in your email address and you get on the newsletter. I'll send a newsletter out. We'll have informal classes, and those can be anywhere from a couple of people to 40 people show up, and it's sort of just a real informal thing. Then every month or so, I'll do a formal one in the spring here. I'll do a ribs one, a class you actually pay for, and it's hands-on as opposed to demo. So we'll be doing all those too. And then, we throw these things in. I'm trying to bring some guests in. I had Warren Prince, one of the premier artisan bread bakers that's real active in a whole bunch of forums, including the Big Green Egg Forum. He was in about a month ago. And, we had people from 5 states at the store. We had about 50 people. So we're doing that stuff. And then, of course, we have our Egg Fest in May coming, which is, the big Green Egg fandango where the eggheads come in from everywhere.
What kind of a turnout do you get for that?
We get a couple hundred people.
Wow.
I don't get as many as I originally anticipated, but now there's egg fests everywhere. There's 2 or 3 every weekend at various parts of the country, whereas just a few years ago there were maybe 4. So for me, we get a lot of people from the Egghead Forum, come from all over. I have registrations already from like Wisconsin. But if we get a 5-state area, sort of like New York State, New Jersey, Maryland, Virginia, Delaware, Washington D.C., type of thing, that area, and maybe a little more New England. Some people from Connecticut. Last year we had people from Canada. You're never sure where they're going to come from, but we do it at our showroom, and we do not have a huge area, so we can't go too crazy anyway, and I want to keep it on my turf. I don't really want to rent a grove or rent a thing somewhere. I just think it should be like at my home base. I like, I'm kind of a homebody, I guess. But so we're kind of actually limited. So we kind of get like the perfect amount. It's a nice thing.
That's May 15th, the Egg Fest out there. Plus, I would imagine that the beauty, the majesty, the magic that is downtown Shillington, Pennsylvania probably draws a lot of these folks in just as well.
Yeah, beautiful downtown Shillington. A mutual friend of ours, Huck Jr. there from Huck's Hut.
Yeah,
I ran into him at that KCBS banquet, and he said, he kept hearing me saying beautiful downtown Shillington and beautiful downtown Shillington. So him and his buddy finally drove up to Shillington, and when they got to my store, he said he was looking around, and it was like, where's the downtown? Because there is no downtown. It's just a street with a couple stores. And I own one of them, and my son owns the one across the street, the bicycle shop.
Yeah, the beautiful downtown show. It's like saying tropical Medina, Ohio.
Right. That's what he said. He said he got there and like, where's the downtown? There is no downtown. It's just my store.
There it is. That's what makes.
And my son JB mountain bikes across the street. That's about it.
That is beautiful downtown Shillington, Pennsylvania, right there, buddy.
Right, and we're famous for Fred's Music Shop, and it's the birthplace of John Updike. I don't know if you know who that is.
I have no idea who that is.
John Updike was America's greatest novelist. He just died about 6 months ago, but he's a well-known guy in literary circles. He's from Shillington, Pennsylvania. Other than that, well, that's pretty much about it.
There you go. He is Fred Bernardo. He owns Fred's Music Store, Fred's Music and Barbecue, which can be found at fredsmusicandbbq.com. Also, his line of Tasty Licks Barbecue Rub has a website, tastylicksbbq.com, but you can find that on Fred's website as well. Fred, appreciate the conversation, covering a lot of topics and talking about a lot of things, but you're certainly the guy to do it with, and appreciate the time as always.
Greg, anytime, buddy. And you need to come by beautiful downtown Shillington. Stop by and say hello someday.
After that cell job, I'm going to get in the car and head right down there.
Right, there's lots of action over there.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate it, Fred. Thanks for coming on.
Okay, Greg. Take care, buddy.
Care.
Good night.
There he is, Fred Bernardo, selling me on beautiful downtown Shillington, Pennsylvania. So funny because I heard that story from Huck Jr. Maybe a month and a half ago. He's like, yeah, man, I kept hearing Fred talk about that beautiful downtown Shillington, Pennsylvania, and then I made it in there. That place was like a crap hole.
Step your game up.
Oh, man. Awesome. Fred's Music and BBQ.com. Fred's website. Check it out. The rubs are good. I've tried probably 5 or 6, and I have 5 or 6 sample packs in my pantry. I get a lot of rub people want me to try, man. I'm plowing through it as best I can. All right, that's going to put a wrap on this segment of After Dark. Again, thanks to my guest for After Dark, Fred Bernardo of Fred's Music and BBQ.com. Show sponsor. More importantly, friend of the show, baby. And thanks you guys for listening. We'll be back After Dark next week. And this puts a wrap on this edition of the Barbecue Central show from the start of 9 p.m. until now. We'll see you back here at next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And until then, this is your program host and proud U.S. American. Good night now.